The Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, that's one of the things about being a comic in Boston is that there was a lot of craft to. I mean, you came along a little bit after me, after my generation of open micers, but there was a lot of emphasis put on the craft of like the use of the word fuck. Like, you know, you could use the word fuck, but don't overfuck. Don't break the fuck meter. That's what guys would say. Like,
don't break the fuck. I remember that. Try to keep it to three to five fucks.
Yeah.
Mike Donovan used to say.
Yes. Donovan was a genius, man. Donovan is one of those unheralded geniuses.
One of my favorite lines ever is he's talking about being at work and your boss breaking your balls, about going on break. And one of my favorite, one of those blue-collar details that I never heard anybody bring up on stage. He was like imitating, giving shit to his boss. He said, "I'll take a 20-minute shit on the clock if I want." And I was just like, oh my God. I used to work with a guy who did that every day, just dogging it, just hating his life. He would grab the newspaper. It was just like, we just had a break. The Roach coach pulled up. We just had the break, and he used it he was so fucking miserable to get from the break to get to lunch. He had this routine where he would go and he's like, I have to go to the bathroom. And we would all break his balls. It's like, Joe, you fucking went in there for like 9 hours, And he would just laugh and he would just walk in, sit down, and just read the newspaper. I don't even think he was taking a shit. He would just sit on this bowl just to have this, I never forget that shit. Like how lucky my life is to tell jokes. Let's just that your game plan is you hate your job so bad that you pretend to take a shit for 20 minutes every day just to get to lunch.
That's a lot of guys. That you can get fired for that.
Oh, nowadays with all the cameras and everything, they can literally break down exactly when because back in the day, you was 6 minutes.
Yeah, they would bring
you have a hernia? How quick am I supposed to take a shit?
They'd bring you to a diet counselor. Try to get you. We have to figure out some sort of a way to optimize your time better here at Performance Inc.
You're upsetting the people in the cubicles that you're walking by as you go to the toilet.
They're there pulling your load while you're shitting.
That was one of the dumbest things we ever did. We used to ship out this computer software. We were the middleman between software companies and people ordering software. This is like the 80s, so there's no internet. So people would come to our company, the company I work for, where they had all this software, Lotus 1, 2, 3, D-Base 3, all this old school shit. And one day we got into this stupid guy competitive thing, like fucking morons. We didn't realize it, who was shipping out the most. So we started saving them, competing with one another. And this guy shipped out 100 packages. So the next day I did 120, and then he did 160. And we were fighting, and then the fucking management got room for it. They were like, "Oh yeah, why don't you start keeping a number?" And then they figured out who was being the most efficient, and guys started losing their jobs. So even back then I was like, "Dude, guys, stop fucking doing it. Stop doing it, because we're literally cutting our own fucking."
Well, you're making yourself. You put yourself in a race there's no winner.
Yeah, but we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
We didn't know any better. Dude, we were idiots. We were like 19, 20. Dude, we used to fucking go out and drink like a 12-pack of beer and eat McDonald's at 1 a.m. And by like 8 o'clock, we were unloading trucks, fine, laughing. And then we would work. We'd do all this shit. And then during lunch hour, we would go out and play basketball in just regular sneakers and 501 blues. Remember that? The button fly. And you'd be out there. You'd come back in pouring sweat and then just keep unloading. It's the greatest shape I was ever in my life. And then in the end of work, I would then go lift and go ride a bike. Dude, I remember one time I went on a bike ride hammered. I was so into working out. Fucking bike ride. I'm on like a 12-speed bike that I bought I still have it, by the way, in my garage. I refuse to throw shit out. And I remember being hammered on the bike, and I'm sweating, so I'm becoming more hammered. And I was going to do this 11-mile loop. Then it became 07, and then I just kind of came back. And I was on the bike laughing, and I was 20, 21, and was only beginning to understand the fragility of life. And I knew that what I was doing was stupid, but I couldn't get I just kept picturing my friends laughing at me, and I was literally by myself riding this bike, laughing, drunk, driving up the street.
Yeah,
dude, I've been here for 2.5 hours. I'm just taking snippets from fucking the 80s. I got nothing left.
You used to be able to bounce back so well when you're young. It's amazing when you're 20 years old. You can get hammered, and the next day you barely feel anything.
Dude, I used to go to McDonald's and tear down that place. I would get 2 quarter pounders with cheese, a large fry, a 6-piece McNugget, and I never liked them. I never thought, and I used to try the different sauces. I used to go with the mustard. Never tastes good. I just wanted something to fill the void. And then I would get a couple of cheeseburgers, and I think just a giant Coke, and just throw that down and wake up the next day with a flat stomach. And I'd already drank 8, 9 beers. We got a fight. We got into a fight one time right under the Golden Arches in the next town over. I don't know what happened. These guys came in drunk, classic Boston shit. They just come walking in and they give everybody the finger. So of course, we respond to it. And next thing you know, we're out underneath the Golden Arches. There's like 5 of us and 2 of them. And my buddy who always fought, he starts swinging on the big one. And then the little one, he sort of jumped in. It just became this big. It looked like wrestling, when they all come running out of the dressing room to help each other. We're on snow. Everybody's drunk, just falling down. We were so fucking drunk. The cops were there sort of misting mace for I don't know how long. We didn't even see him pull up. It was just that, being in the fucking fight. And then all of a sudden, everybody's eyes are tearing up and shit. And then what was hilarious was they just broke us up. And they and then 2 seconds later, we're back in our car, and the same 2 guys we were fighting were coming back up to the car. It's where did the cops go? I thought it was over. And the guy's that was a bullshit punch. I remember the little one goes, he goes, we laugh at your shit. He was It was fucking nuts. I got to give it up to him. It was fucking 4-on-2 or whatever, and they didn't give a shit. They laughed. They definitely laughed at our shit. They didn't care. They ate that mace and they came right back. They were ready.
Once
right
you
up
get
to our
maced,
right up to our Ford Escort. They did not give a fuck.
If you're still into the fight and you just got maced, you need a hobby.
Something happened. I don't. But nobody got it full on. It was just your eye. We thought it was the snow. They had thrown rock salt because we were on the ground. I don't know what it was. But it was just unbelievably fucking irritable. But we were hammered. I thought it was a fucking police car pulled up and nobody noticed.
That's hilarious.
And I was hey, whatever was going on.